Richard or Rico Suave, aka. Let's see, 100th Hump Day party time. Woohoo! Some questions for the Google Ninjas. I'm trying to power up my IFTTT properties and create some topical relevant business directories in the home improvement niche. Now, what will be the best strategy? Assumptions based on my knowledge. It is best to link only one way, not two ways. Google checks, counts, monitors, two hops. Yeah, they look basically two tiers out. So the best linking approach would be do follow outbound link business directory A to business directory B to WordPress T1 business directory C. That's confusing.
It is totally.
I'm gonna need a diagram for this one. Let's see.
No, but he says he's basically creating a link wheel. So,
yeah.
So if you look at it like a link wheel, it does make sense. But he's overthinking it, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. I think way overthinking it. And I'm not picking on you, Rico. I'm saying that honestly, I wouldn't use a link scheme like that, only because I think at some point it could get you in trouble, if not right off the bat. Even if there's some level of randomness there, I think that's overcomplicated for what it is that you're trying to do. If you're trying to do like a business directory type site and you're going to have it niche specific, or at least like category specific, in that if it's home improvement, you could cover multiple industries, right? You know, landscapers and HVAC, electricians, plumbers, all that kind of stuff, roofers, right? You could just silo out the site using, you build silos out for each industry, or you could build silos out based on locations. It depends on the site. You're going to probably need to use what's called a complex silo structure for that, but you can accomplish most of what you're trying to do just from your internal linking within a site that's structured properly. And for business directory sites, that's the way to do it, guys, is to make sure that you have really solid or tight silo structures, and you can achieve most of your ranking results just from the internal linking structure. Of course, you're going to need backlinks, but if you have your site siloed properly and internal linking done correctly, then you're going to be able to flow massive juice through each silo from every subsequent business directory listing that you add within that specific category. And so the Network Empire guys, they called that buoyancy, right? They called it buoyancy. And so essentially, if your silo is tight and your structure is really tight, then every time you add another listing, if you build any links to that listing, it's going to benefit the silo in its entirety, which in turn will benefit the entire site, right? And so I would recommend sticking not with this link scheme that you're planning out here, because it could get complicated very, very quickly. But also, just make sure that you have a good, tight silo structure on the site, and plan it out, man. Take some time. I mean, sometimes for the more complex sites, it'll take me a few hours of trying to map out the site, because there's a lot of funny things that happen with URLs when you start using complex silos, which are basically, you have, top pages and child pages, top level categories and child categories, and then you have posts. So you can get pretty weird with the URLs as far as how you structure your silos. And if you're using the physical silo structure, which means that you're showing your categories and posts in the actual URL, if you're using just the post name URL structure or permalink structure, then you can create what's called a virtual silo instead of a physical silo, and that'll allow you to get away with a lot more as far as you won't have like crazy URL things to reconcile. So again, it's something that you're just going to want to map out. Try to determine what the best strategy is. I would probably say a complex silo structure for a business directory type site, and just make sure that you keep everything tight within each silo. Anybody want to comment on that?
No, I agree with what you were saying, because otherwise it can be really, really complex really, really quickly, and then at some point you do not know where each post goes. So it's kind of...
Yeah, guys, I always recommend trying to keep it as simple as possible. We in the SEO industry always want to overcomplicate things. I'm 100% guilty of that in my earlier years. I'm not so much anymore, because I've learned over the years that overcomplicating things only makes it more difficult on me. It doesn't make it any better for Google or doesn't make it any better for anybody. It just makes it more difficult for me if I'm doing something difficult. So I try to keep everything as simple as possible now and do as little work as possible to achieve the results that I desire. And so when it comes to on-site stuff, I used to plan out these big elaborate sites, and for most local stuff now, it's not really necessary to do that. It depends on how competitive the industry is or your particular market is. There's no doubt. If it's really competitive, then sometimes having those elaborate silo structures and such is necessary. But for most stuff, it's probably not. And for business directories, like I said, depending on how you silo that site, you can end up generating, over time, it takes time, but the more posts or listings that you add to the business directory site, the more power and authority that the site ends up getting over time. And that's why all the big directory sites are as powerful as they are, because they have so many pages, so many listings on the site. Okay. All right. Let's see. Also, this can be expanded with all mine tier 1 properties, maximize links, topical relevant trustful. Yeah. I mean, what I would do is create a tier 1 branded network for the business directory. Your all these like you're saying business directory A, B, C, all this other stuff. I don't know what you mean by that, because unless you're having multiple different directories. But if you have everything under one directory and you just silo it out, use categories and silo the site out for different types of industries, which is what I would do, then you only need one branded network, which would be the name or the brand of the business directory. And then every single post you do could go out across that network. Okay? And yes, that will work, because again, you're going to have a lot of posts going out. And the interesting thing, guys, is if you're doing a business directory style site, make sure that you are adding the NAP details of the listings as structured data, because that you want that structured data on the post, so that when it syndicates, you're actually getting citation links from your IFTTT networks. It's pretty powerful. Another question about powering up the IFTTT and Money site. In one video, you mentioned a service to purchase credits to get visitors, to increase CTA, reduce bounce rate, etc. Can you give me the link to this video, since I can't find it? Do you guys know which one he's talking about? He must be talking about CTR, click-through rate. He's probably talking about crowd search.
I think that's exactly what he's talking about, the crowd search webinar that we did.
Yeah, just go to Google and type in crowd search 2016 demo or something like that. Is Google not working for me? You guys hearing me?
Yes.
Okay, I just want to because Google's not working. Son of a bitch.
You broke Google.
I just swear I broke Google, man. Like, Hangouts is acting up today. It's our 100th episode, and Google doesn't like it, apparently.
Yeah. Adam is missing.
Search 2016. Now it's working. Hey, look, we're #1 for that. I'll be damned. Just search that. You can go click, just crowd search 2016 and go watch. We did a full webinar on that. It's an hour and 9 minutes. There it is right there. Talking about how to use click-through spam, CT spam, to be able to help ranked sites, and there's various ways to do it, and we talk about it in that webinar. It's free, guys. Just go watch it. Okay,
guys. When everything else fails, just Google it.
That's right. That's right. When Google's working, because apparently it's not working for me today.